Candidates for county commissioner face big questions about COVID, equity, and everything in between. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. First, emergency responders used Jaws for Life and Flight for Life to rescue victims of a car accident north of Silverthorne yesterday. State Patrol confirms an SUV crashed into boulders off Highway 9 outside of Maryland Creek Ranch around 1:30 p.m. The driver, a 79-year-old Silverthorne man, was extracted and airlifted to Denver. An unidentified female passenger was taken to St. Anthony's in Frisco. Both suffered moderate to severe injuries. The crash was likely caused by a medical incident. Questions over workforce housing nearly derailed a new development at last night's Breckenridge Town Council meeting. Plans for North Park Avenue across from City Market by Alpine Sports call for lower-level retail and medical offices and 14 second-level apartments split evenly between deed-restricted and market rate. Council approved that project by a split vote, 4-3. Members who voted yes liked the deed-restricted component, saying any new employee housing built on private land by an outside developer is smart. Dick Carlton, Aaron Giello, and Eric Mamula voted against it, claiming the workforce apartments are an easy way to win approval with minimal benefits. Primary ballots are in the mail, due by next Tuesday, June 30th, with Democratic races for District Attorney, U.S. Senator, and CU Regent, and candidates from both parties for State Senator. County Clerk Kathy Neal has a message for unaffiliated voters.
They may only vote and return one ballot. If they vote both, neither one of them will count.
Meanwhile, Summit County Commissioner candidates are already campaigning for November, and the race is packed, with 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and 2 independents running for 3 seats. That includes 2 seats left empty by term-limited commissioners Karn Stiegelmeier and Thomas Davidson. Silverthorne candidate Bruce Butler, running to serve District 3, believes that could explain the busy ballot.
It also tends to bring people out of the woodwork who might not have run in the past.
Hot-button issues like police reform, COVID recovery, and racial equity join long-standing topics like healthcare, housing, and open space. And Butler, an independent, says no party politics is the right thing for local government.
I don't want to be involved in sidetracked by high-level state or federal politics. What I want to do is I want to focus specifically on what's in the best interest of Summit County.
Alan Bacher is running for District 1, serving Breckenridge and Blue River. He also believes in small, nimble government, but with a Republican twist.
The government should stay on its rails and be a provider of services. The government was established to protect our rights and to ensure that we could pursue the American dream.
Democrat Tamara Pogue, current executive director for Peak Health Alliance, says her background with healthcare and nonprofits will appeal to voters in District 2, serving Frisco and Dillon.
I'm not a fan of big government or unnecessary government. I think government has a responsibility to the taxpayers in our community to be as efficient and as transparent as possible.
All 3 agree this year's election is pivotal for Summit. Pogue.
If there's one opportunity that COVID may provide, it's sort of an opportunity to step back and say, what kind of a Summit County do we want?
Stay tuned in coming days and weeks for more interviews with county commissioner candidates. This week on the State of Summit, we look at the future of law enforcement right here in Summit.
The SMART team has been a game changer in our community.
That was Summit Sheriff Jamie Fitzsimons. The SMART team, short for System-Wide Mental Health Assessment Response Team, comes with a caseworker, mental health clinician, and plainclothes deputy trained to give locals the help they need without handcuffs or jail bars.
To the person in crisis, it would be hard to tell who's the clinician and who's the cop, honestly. So, it removes that threatening fear factor that someone might be in crisis.
The SMART team debuted in January, responding in person to 142 calls while preventing 85 arrests and saving law enforcement 186 hours better spent on police work.
So this is 85 people that before the SMART team would have gone to the emergency room and probably would have gone to a mental health facility.
The team is the first of its kind in Colorado's high country, and it comes with limits. COVID interrupted recruiting for a second team, and the current team is part-time only, working Wednesday through Sunday, 2 p.m. to midnight.
I wholeheartedly and firmly believe that this is one solution to doing this. Creating more co-responder teams and dealing with the problems we have out in the community.
Another barrier is budget. The program costs $1.5 million annually, funded by a local tax measure approved last November, and 2 state grants in danger of disappearing.
With the $3 billion budget cuts at the state level, I fear to see what's going to happen here June 30th, or I should say July 1, when the new contracts are issued.
Fitzsimons remains hopeful the current smart team will not disappear, but says future growth is anything but certain. Tune in again next Wednesday for The State of Summit on Krystal 93. In sports, Major League Baseball is back, finally, starting July 1st with training camp for a 60-game season, the shortest since 1901. First games are July 23rd. The Rockies most likely play at Coors Field, but with no fans in the stands. And Charlie Blackmon might not be joining his team. The outfielder is one of the first MLB players to test positive for coronavirus, along with teammates Philip Deal and Ryan Castellani, both pitchers. And in local sports, brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Weiss Agency, you've got a few more hours until 8 p.m. to compete in the season opener for the Summit Mountain Challenge Town Series COVID Edition, a 7.5-mile mountain bike time trial on the Frisco Peninsula. Timing is through Strava, and courses marked with yellow arrows. If you are not racing today, please consider an alternate route. Race directors expect this afternoon to be busy. Phil Lindemann, Krystal 93 News.